And we're back in the same t-shirt for another video because I thought I'd film it right after just so we have our thoughts clear. But guys, these are five things that we're not the best in Brazil. I don't want to say hate, I don't want to say dislike, and these are just based on my personal experiences, so not everyone who goes to Brazil has these experiences. And like, again, lovely country, very complex, very nuanced, very just, there's a lot going on in Brazil. So these are just some things I experienced I wasn't too comfortable with when I was in Brazil, just like you would experience. These things could probably happen in almost any other country in the world. So let's get to it. But before we do that, the little red button, hit that, subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the bell notifications for you to be notified when I post a new video. Because get ready, guys, the Brazil series, there isn't much left after this. And if you guys actually like this video, hit that like button, or you can just like it right now because you like Brazil. Doesn't that make sense? I think it does. Anyway, let's get on to 5 things that made me a little uncomfortable about Brazil. The first thing was security. Like, alright, it's not like Rio and Sao Paulo, like they're not the safest cities in the world. You have to be very careful, watch where you are, and when you constantly have to do that, like every single day you leave the house, it takes a little bit of a toll on your mind. So, for me, I was anxious a lot, and it was always the back of my head, like, what if something happens, like, whatever. Nothing did, so I'm very grateful for that. So it's not that bad, but that's just something that bugged me a lot. Stuff that I found specific to Rio, because it only really happened in Rio, you know, I went to 4 other places outside of Rio, was like the customer service. Now, sometimes it was good, and sometimes it was really good, but maybe 60% of the time, the customer service was, like, just not fun. Like, the waiters and waitresses would not, like, come to me. They wouldn't, you know, they would ignore me and my friends, or they would, you know, people at the grocery store were just kind of like, you know, and, like, I get it, because obviously they're not paid as much as they should be paid for the amount of work that they do, so I understand why people feel that way, and I'm not being like, the customer service is horrible, I deserve better. But, like, it was just something that it was not the greatest thing I experienced. The next thing was the food in Rio was, like, not that good. Like, even at the fancy gourmet restaurants, it's just like the food quality wasn't that good. I don't know what it was, but I never ate at a restaurant in Rio and went like, oh, this was amazing. It just didn't happen. It wasn't wowed. Another thing that just was like kind of privileged and bothered me a little bit was like the fact that like air conditioning is more of a rarity there. Like, it's there, but no one ever uses it really. So sometimes it'd be really hot and you just want like air conditioning, just even a little bit, even air conditioning at 80 degrees. Alright, just like, you know, bring you down from that 95, but like, it wasn't on sometimes. Like, my host family didn't have air conditioning, so I was just kind of like, you know, again, not a big deal. I lived without AC last year in Ottawa, so it's like not the end of the world, but like, it's just something that rubs me the wrong way. Another thing that just really got on my nerves was, when you're at the beach, sometimes people come by trying to sell you things, which is fine. That's amazing. I'm happy people are getting out there, you know, trying to make money, support their families. I'm 100% behind that. I support that wholeheartedly. But, like, you would say no, like, not just the second time or, like, a third time, but, like, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. This happened maybe, like, 2 or 3 times when I was there, but, like, you would say no, and they'd be like, oh, well, you know, they would, like, harass you almost sometimes to buy their stuff, and it's like, man, I don't want your necklace, I'm sorry, but there's, like, 1,000 other people on this beach that wants a necklace. I'm not one of them. So that kind of bothered me sometimes. Another thing that really, like, didn't bother me at first, but eventually started to get on my nerves was the fact that I'm, like, a gringo, like, I'm extremely white, like, I stood out a lot. In Rio, Sao Paulo I blended in a lot more, but, like, Rio I stood out a lot. So I was, you know, people, you know, I feel like, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like Brazilians are okay with staring, kind of. Like, it's more acceptable maybe than the US. They just, and it's not harmful, it's like a curious stare, or you say something in English and immediately everyone's like, like, you know, and that's fine, like, but after a while you kind of just want to not be noticed, especially me being like an introvert, like not wanting to be noticed. Sometimes I just want to leave my apartment, get my Chinese food and go back up, you know, and not be noticed, but people notice you because you're not like them. So I kind of understand now, I guess, what it means to stand out when you're not in the majority. But yeah, that was something that just like gets under my skin a little bit. It was just like, and it wasn't like my skin color that made me different. It was like, just like my mannerisms and the fact that I speak English and have an accent on my Portuguese, everyone just knew I was a foreigner. Because most of the time if I just kept my mouth shut, my eyes down, and kept walking, people didn't bat an eyelash, but like once I did something that made people know I was a gringo, I would stand out and people would be like, and there was some people who were like there was like 2 incidences where people, like anti-gringo experiences, like one old lady was like, hey, come to Brazil, you don't speak Portuguese. I'm like, bitch, I speak Portuguese, I know what you're talking about, alright? I'm trying to learn, alright? It's not that, it takes a long time to learn a language, hunty. But yeah, those were my like uncomfortable experiences in Brazil. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Guys, if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, check out my social media, and like go click the Brazil playlist that shows up at the end of this video and go watch it, go binge it. You know, it's probably like binge night, you know. Take it you day and watch those videos. Alright. Tchauzinho, gente.